Hello guys, welcome to Study Philia Education. I am Deepshikha and this is the third part of the video of important facts about China. If you haven't seen the first two parts yet, go and watch now. In the third part, we'll talk about the revolutionary and post-revolutionary period of China. Before we move on to the video, please give it a like, share and drop a comment down if you have any doubts. So let's start with an important note which I forgot to mention in the last video. Puyi of Qing dynasty was the 11th and the last emperor of China. With the fall of Puyi, the imperial rule ended in China. He was also a puppet emperor controlled by the Japanese in the state of Manchukuo. He was overthrown by the Republic of China, that is Kuomintang, in 1912. Now, the Cultural Revolution. The Qing dynasty fell in 1911, overthrown by revolution brewing since 1894, when Western educated revolutionary Sun Yat-sen formed the Revived China Society in Hawaii and then in Hong Kong. China was in chaos with rival factions carving out territories from the Qing Empire. Sun's most powerful rival was Yuan Shikai, who had built a strong base of power in northern China in his role as a top Qing military leader. So that's how the revolution started too. So we'll start off with the Cultural Revolution, that is the May 4th movement. Treaty of Nanjing in 1842, Sino-Japanese wars, Opium Wars, and other Western powers, they all weakened China. So youth started rebelling, and it gave rise to the China's Communist Party. After the Opium War ended, Western powers were granted to take whatever concessions they wanted from China. In the Paris Peace Conference, China was given only two seats as representatives, while Japan was given five. The young generation of China wanted a reform, so after 1895, China finally started. The young generation of China wanted a reform, so after 1895, China finally started fanning out to other countries like Japan and USA to study about the countries. Immediate spark occurred when Paris took China's seat at the Allies' victory table of World War I. Clause of 128 to 134 of Peking Pact, signed in 1901, said that Germany would give all its privileges it got from the final Boxer Protocol to China. But Japan was given all the regions that were under Germany in China. So that's how Germany betrayed China, which led to the Sinhai Revolution. Sinhai Revolution was basically industrial revolution. Industry workers started the revolution. It led to the modernization of China. University students played a great role. There were many organizations involved like Literary Society, Universal Progress Society. Wuhan was an important economic center at the Yangtze River bank. It was captured and declared independent from Qing dynasty. In the beginning of 1912, the Republican government was forming with Dr. Sun Yat-sen as its president. Yuan Shikai, who was an army chief, he was called to suppress the Wuhan uprising. Sun's most powerful rival was Yuan Shikai, who had built a strong base of power in northern China. Due to loss in Opium Wars, unequal treaties, extraterritorial rights, forced opening of ports, invasion by foreigners like Manchus, and failure of government at many levels led to an emergence of a new intellectual class. people supported the rebels by providing them logistics and hiding them. Yuan Shikai tried to seize the power to become the emperor himself. Events in Sichuan led to the Wuhan uprising. Chen Teishu and Hu Shi were two important journalists of that time. Uh, they maintained their New Youth Journal. So whatever happened in the revolution, they wrote it in the New Youth Journal. Now the Nationalist Party, that is Kuomintang, the Republic of China, it officially came into existence in 1912, established by Dr. Sun Yat-sen. The process of establishment started even before the Qing dynasty came to an end. In 1905, Kuomintang was formed, and it was then known as Tongmeng Hui. It existed as a secret society. Sun's presidency lasted only 45 days. When Yuan began to flex his muscles, Sun decided it would be politically prudent to abdicate in his favor. So Sun turned his attention to forming the Kuomintang, or the Nationalist Party. In 1905, Sun united various revolutionary factions into one party with the Japanese help and wrote the manifesto, the three principles of the people. Sun's first principle was the principle of race, the second principle was rights of the people, and the last was the people's livelihood. Sun Yat-sen is also known as the father of modern China, which is an important note. By the end of the year, Sun Yat-sen resigned for Yuan to come into the power. But what Yuan did was Yuan dissolved the legislature and made a new constitution that gave all the power to him. He wanted to rule China. People started revolting against him. And the three people's principle was laid out by Sun Yat-sen. Around this time, communism came from West. The Communist Party of China was established in July 1921 by Mao Zedong. The Kuomintang and the Communist Party of China were ideologically against each other but collaborated out of compulsion. Kuomintang had power in southern China and they needed support from northern China. So, North Expedition took place with the Communist Party from 1926 to 1927. Long March was held. Long March was a military retreat by the Communist Party of China against the Kuomintang and also to get the support from peasants and masses. Um, since then, China was still an agrarian society. So, due to Shanghai Revolution, only industrial workers were in favor of the Communist Party of China. So they needed support from the peasants. So they held the Long March. It started from Jiangxi on 16th October 1934 and ended in Shanxi on 22nd October 1935, which was 1 year and 6 days long. Now, China during World War One, Yuan Shikai and his people were part of the Peiyang army. Sun Yat-sen advocated in favor of Yuan Shikai and resigned. In 1913, Yuan's opposition was assassinated. He dissolved the parliament, made a new constitution that gave him unlimited power. He was planning to be the new emperor of China. ऐसा मैंने पहले भी बताया. उसके बाद World War One started. China was mainly neutral, but many leaders thought joining the Allies would give China a little more power. Japan secretly presented Yuan with the 21 demands in exchange for helping Yuan become the emperor. Yuan agreed. When people found out about that, they became angry and started rebelling. So, what was this 21 demands? In 21 demands, Japan said that China would be allowed to pass a new law only after they get it agreed by the Japanese. The Japanese took control of Nanjing, Canton, and many major cities. This was a huge shock to Kuomintang, and they moved the government to eastern China. Kuomintang and the Communist Party had their own issues to deal with. Later, when Kuomintang realized that they couldn't win against Japan alone, they shook hands with the Communist Party of China. Now, the Tiananmen Massacre. By the spring of 1989, there was growing sentiment among university students and others in China for political and economic reform. The country had experienced a decade of remarkable economic growth and liberalization, and many Chinese had been exposed to foreign ideas and standards of living. Student led demonstrations calling for more individual rights and freedoms in late 1986 and early 1987 caused hardliners in the government and Communist Party to suppress what they termed bourgeois liberalism. Hu Yaobang, who had been the Communist Party General Secretary since 1980, in January 1987, he was forced to resign his post. What became the catalyst for the chain of events in the massacre was the death of Hu in mid April, who was transformed into a martyr for the cause of political liberalization. On the day of his funeral, April 22, tens of thousands of students gathered in Tiananmen Square demanding democratic and other reforms. Similar demonstrations rose up in a number of other Chinese cities, notably in Shanghai, Nanjing, Xi'an, Changsha, and Chengdu. By June 5th, the military had secured complete control over the uprising. The Chinese government arrested thousands of suspected dissidents. Many of them received prison sentences of varying lengths of time, and a number were executed. The Western media labeled these events of June 3rd and 4th a massacre. So, Tiananmen massacre is also known as the June 4th movement. So, that's it for this video. We'll meet in the next video. Thanks for watching.